I don't owe nobody no more. What? Hey everyone, welcome back to Francis 4. Today is going to be a little bit different. I don't have the other three with me. It's just Francis 1 right now. But I wanted to get on here and just share something with you all. Some of you follow us on social media. And I just wanted to share the news with our YouTube family as well. Y'all, let me tell you the testimony. As you can see by the title, I had $18,000 of student loan debt completely canceled. And I wanted to come on here and share just my journey with it and some things to hopefully encourage you. If you've been trying to have your student loan debt canceled via the public service loan forgiveness program, like, I want to come and bring any information that I can share, to help you out. I know for me, even going on this journey, when I was trying to get more information about it, of course you see, the information on the loan website and all of that, but it was like I was digging on YouTube, just trying to do research, trying to find other people who have similar situations. And I was thankful I found a couple videos that encouraged me to go after it again. On October of 2021, the Department of Education came out with a new waiver, which they're now allowing any type of payment that you have made towards your student loan to be counted. It no longer has to fall under that 120 payments in this particular payment program and everything. But before I jump into all of that, I just want to share just a quick, just really quick about my personal experience and my story behind it. So I have been working in the public service sector since 2009. Public service, and then even for the qualifications for the PSLF loan or forgiveness program. And I'm going to be looking at the screen because I want to make sure I drop the facts right for you all. That means you're either employed by government or a 501c3 organization that's not for profit, or other not-for-profit organizations that provide a qualifying service. And so I would suggest that you go to studentaid.gov and check out that information, the requirements, and even consider the new changes that they have made with this new waiver. Go get all the details that you need so that you can, apply and not just think that it's happening that is really not happening, guys, because it's happening. People are really getting their loans paid off. And if you qualify under that program, like, you need to go ahead and shoot your shot. And so fast forward back, I've been with the government since 2009. And so in 2019, I realized, I was like, hey, it's 10 years since I've been in the government. Like, let me go ahead and try to apply for this public service loan forgiveness program. So I did the paperwork. I had to, of course, submit that employer certification form for the number of years that I have been employed, and get either it could be your supervisor or somebody who is, I guess, an authorized official to sign that document, to sign off on it. So for me, it was somebody in HR who had to sign off so that I could then submit that form into, to them to see if I could get approved for that program. So my loans were with Fed Loan. I know that some people have different loans, but I think under this program, you have to have a direct loan. And I believe even with the new waiver, there have been some changes with that I believe if you consolidate your loans, then you can apply under the program. And so they have made so many changes that are actually in favor of really making sure that people are getting their loans paid off. And so going back to 2019, I did submit the paperwork. I got, a letter back stating that my payments that I have made up to that point did not qualify for the PSLF. And then, of course, they wanted me to try to get on another payment plan so that my loans can start being counted. I wasn't really feeling that, because even when they gave me the monthly payment, it was like double of what I was already paying. And I was not comfortable with that at that moment. And so I just kind of left it alone, didn't even look into it anymore, and just was saying, okay, well, God is going to do it a different way for me, and so fast forward to 2020, of course, with the pandemic happening, that was one of the big questions of whether or not loans would be, what was going to happen with student loans. And of course, they had put all the loans in deferment. You didn't have to make any payments. They stopped allowing them to accrue interest. And so being that was the situation at the time, I think I had paid like maybe one or two more payments to just get my loan account balance even to just $18,000. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just keep it at $18,000, and then once they say we have to start back paying, I'll be ready. I put it in my budget, all of that stuff to get ready. So that was 2020. Now we're in 2022. I saw that new waiver come out about the, it doesn't matter what kind of payment you have made, it will be counted. And so I was like, wait a minute, let me go in here and see how many payments I have made. And so looking at the actual account and all the payments, I'm like, this is definitely over 120 payments. Like, I should qualify for this. So let me go ahead and submit this paperwork again. So being that was back, I had not had an updated employer certification form filled out. So I had to go back and get a new form filled out to account not only for, I think it already had factored in the 2009 to 2019, but then I had to, of course, get it certified for 2020 up until, 2022. And so I resubmitted the form. I had to get someone at HR to sign off on the form, and make sure you all do that form and fill it out correctly. Double check it, because I also noticed or heard also that people are getting stuff kicked back because they're not completing the forms correctly. So take your time. It's very easy to, read through, make sure that you're checking the boxes, make sure that you got the correct service computation date, which is your actual start date of whatever qualifying employer that you worked for. Make sure that you put the correct start date. Make sure that whoever is signing off on your papers sign off on it the correct way, and then submit it and make sure that you're doing that right. And then just check in on it to make sure that it has been received. And those were some of the steps that I took for myself just to make sure that I was staying on top of it. I submitted my employer certification. They received it. It came back and said that, okay, under this new waiver, there are some payments that have qualified that fit that. But then I also noticed that it said that PSLF is not approved because you don't have 120 payments. And then they have actually on Fed Loan, they have like a payment tracker. So it shows you, okay, this is 120, this is how many payments you have made, and this is how many payments you have left. And so I was looking like, okay, they're not counting this. And so I went in and looked at each payment. I'm like, okay, but this one should have been counted. This one. But I was at that point, I submitted the paperwork in December. I think I heard back from them, or I submitted it in November, and I heard back from them in December about it. And it was basically saying that I didn't qualify. And I probably should have called at that moment, but I guess I got discouraged, and I was like, well, I'm not going to do it anymore, But it wasn't until January, fast forward, that I actually was listening to a message from my husband. He is a pastor. And so I was listening to one of the messages, and he shared some nuggets. You can go to my IG page and see that full write-up on that, and even those nuggets that he shared. I'll put that information in there. But it was some things that he shared that really began to encourage my heart and prick my heart. And so I felt a nudge to say, go back into that account and give those people a call. Like, you need to call them right now. So after my husband finished streaming the message that he was sharing with our church, something nudged me to say, call them like right now. So y'all, it was about 8:00 at night. I pulled up the website. I saw that their offices closed at, I believe, 9 or 10 o'clock p.m. And so I picked up that phone and I said, let me call these people. And so I called, and y'all, I was on hold. I was on hold for about an hour. It probably was closer to an hour and a half. That's how long I was on the phone waiting for someone to pick up. But I was determined at that point, like, I'm going to talk to somebody tonight. So somebody finally comes to the phone. It was a guy. He was very, very pleasant. And even that was just unique. And I'm like, okay, this is amazing already. Like, just with him talking to me. But he wasn't the one who could help me with that particular issue. So he forwarded me to someone else. And he was like, let me get you over there right now to these people, because they're actually about to close. But I know normally around this time, they're quick to answer the phones. So as soon as he transferred me over, someone picked up, and it was a lady, and she was very pleasant as well. So I started explaining to her, like, hey, I understand that they have the new waiver out, and I believe I have some payments on my account that should fall within the new changes. And so she pulled up my account and she looked at everything and she said, okay, I see what you're talking about. I can't make that decision, but I can forward each of these payments up and have them reviewed by someone. And so I was like, well, that's fine, go ahead. And so she literally had to pull up every payment in my account, the ones that were saying that I wasn't eligible. And she basically had to, it seemed like, I guess she was selecting it and transferring it up for review. Something else to note, the guy who I talked to first, he did also mention that the system has not been recalibrated to reflect the new waiver. And so it's more of a thing like you actually have to call them, because in my experience, I had to call. Now, I don't know if some people just automatically got their debts, their debt canceled, but I called, and I'm thinking in my mind, like, had I not called, I probably would still have those loans. So I'm glad I called, and the lady was able to basically send all of those ineligible payments up for review. And then after she did that, she told me, she said, okay, well, I said, how soon will I hear back, something, from the people? And she said, it usually takes about 30 days. I usually tell people, like, in 30 days, they may hear something back about, what they decide to do, if they decide to, acknowledge those payments. So she was like, just, about 30 days. So that was like January 5th when I talked to her. 1 week later, y'all, I'm sitting in this office. I was doing some budgeting, updating some numbers on my husband and our financial spreadsheet. And I felt another nudge. I was like, okay, well, first off, and this is the part where I definitely have to incorporate God in. Like, y'all, he was all through the thing anyway, even with me calling. So, if you don't like it, I don't care. I'm going to share and I'm going to testify about the goodness of the Lord. But I was sitting in this office on my laptop working on our financial budget spreadsheet. And I really felt God say, like, go ahead and take that balance out. I'm taking care of that. You don't have to worry about that no more. Now, for me, I'm not super deep like that to where I'm like, yes, God, whatever you tell me, I'll do. Sometimes it requires a bold step of faith. And right in that moment, I really had to take a bold step of faith on what I really was feeling like God was impressing upon my heart, to completely remove that loan balance from our financial budget spreadsheet, which I track faithfully. We're on a debt-free journey, being diligent and good stewards with paying off any debt that we have. And so I'm like, that don't make sense to take this full. And at the time, I think I had it $18,000 to take this $18,000 out this budget plan. Like, and they're about to start back taking the student loan payments back out in May. Like, that don't make sense. But I felt also in that moment, like, you know what? Sometimes in order to see something different, you have to do something different. And that was a turning point for me to say, okay, God, if this is you telling me to do this, I want to be obedient. I want to trust you in that. And so I completely erased the balance out of our plan. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy, but I'm believing God is going to do it. And so After that, right after I did that, I felt that nudge to say, go check the loan account. So I went in and I pulled up the loan account. And guys, I saw zero balance. But boy, did you catch that? The lady told me 30 days, y'all. She said 30 days, check back. She didn't even say in 30 days that it was going to be removed. She said check back in 30 days. Y'all, 1 week later, what was that? January 5th is when I called. January 12th is when I checked that account and I had a zero balance along with a letter that said, hold on. Let's, y'all, wait a minute now. I don't have the paper here, but I do have the email. So I definitely want to share that with you all because I believe that it is vital. So give me a second. Let me get my thoughts together. Actually, it's on my laptop. I want to read exactly what the email said. It said, congratulations. And then it said on October 6, 2021, the Department of Education announced a change to the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program for a limited time that allows you to get credit for payments you've made on loans that would not normally qualify for PSLF. As a result, we conducted another review of your public service loan forgiveness application and payment history, and we have determined that you have successfully made the 120 monthly payments in order to have all or a portion of your loans listed below forgiven. And it had both, and so my loans were consolidated, but they still had them broken up. And the total that they listed on their site, guys, let's see, I want to give y'all the facts straight. Now, I apologize for not being as prepared, but I wanted to go ahead and record this video while everything was still fresh. So the total amount that they had, that they paid off was $19,686.67. Guys, did you hear me? $19,686.67 that they canceled on my behalf. Y'all, God is good. He did it, and I cannot take any credit, you know, aside from just being obedient to him when he told me to go back again and submit that paperwork. Because I was at a loss for hope. I was just like, okay, it's not going to happen this way. We're going to just continue to be diligent and paying off our loans and doing what we need to do. But it happened, guys, and it blew my mind. I was in here crying, shouting. I think I scared my son when he walked in the room. Y'all, I was so excited. That was only 1 week later that those loans were paid off. 1 week later, those loans were paid off. So I just wanted to drop a few more things to you all. Like I said, make sure that you remember to fill out that form, the employer certification form, completely. Once you get that filled out and uploaded and submitted, double check on it to make sure that it went through. Like, call those people, and it's okay if you're on hold. Like y'all gotta understand, it's a lot of people that's calling them right now. But if you are willing to hold for as long as you can, like, you know, and get through to someone, it will, you know, it could definitely turn out in your favor. So, you know, make sure you fill out the form. Also, the waiver program is limited, and according to studentaid.gov right now, I think it's only going until October 31st of this year, 2022. So now is the time to strike if you do feel like you qualify. Like I said, go to that website, check it out, and see what you qualify. And even if you are unsure about it, give the people a call. You know, it does not hurt to just check in and see. But I know that I am not the only one who this has happened for. I'm actually in a Facebook group, like a financial Facebook group, and I saw a few people share, and some of their loan amount, their debt amount was way higher than mine, like in the 6 figures. So don't think that it cannot happen for you. I'm here to let you know that it can happen. Do your due diligence, submit what you need to submit, double check on it, be led by the Spirit. God will tell you exactly what you need to say, what you need to do, where you need to go, and just trust him in this process, and don't lose hope. I think that was the part where I struggled a little bit, because I lost hope. And I lost hope when there was a blessing waiting on me. But I thank God that I did hear his voice and was allowed, was led by his spirit to do what I needed to do so that this could happen. Like, y'all, 19,000 gone. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you all, and I hope that this video encourages you. Please drop me a comment in the box below. And yeah, thank you all for supporting the Francis 4. We are trying to get to 1K. So if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We would love for you to stick around. We definitely enjoy sharing pieces of our life, and we love engaging with you all. So please comment below with any questions that you have. Hit us up. You can follow me on IG at Taryn the Francis, and then my husband Ty Francis at I am Ty Francis, y'all. And then we have our family page at Francis 4. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.